Just not working. There we go. Okay. For some reason my mic did not want to work. Now it is working. Here we go. I think I'm gonna jinx myself here. I think I've found the winning combination. I think I have figured out how to get this game to play without any problems. So we are going to try. We are going to try Monster Hunter once again to see if we can play without it crashing all over the place. So we're gonna try, and hopefully we're gonna get through it. We shall see. So I have not played in a while because of all the constant crashing. I did play for about 2 hours. Once I think I figured out the fix here to making this work. So maybe we're gonna try and catch our gear up. It's been a little bit since we've gotten to play, so let's try and catch up our gear. We need to hunt Arkvelds, and I'm trying to think ebony somethings. I can't remember the name of the other thing, but we need a lawful boar's gun lance. And all of our armor apparently is all wrong. I thought I knew what I was doing, but here's the secret. Apparently I did not know what I was doing, so here is hoping that we can catch up to the other hunters who have not had the same problems that I have. And it appears the fix was to cap the frame rate at 50 frames per second. I don't know why exactly 50, but apparently people online were saying like if you cap it at 60, it'll crash. If you cap it at 30, it will crash. But apparently 50 is the magical number. You cap it at 50 and it just works. So far we haven't had a problem, but also if the problem is like frame rates were out of control causing some sort of crash, then streaming it might also be at least a part of the issue. I think I'm not a computer expert, I'm not a computer genius, but I assume if the problem is it's running too hard because it's poorly optimized, then streaming it is not going to help, but we're going to try. So we need to hunt down tempered Arkvelds for their delicious scales to make the weapon that I want. And then we also need to hunt down, I can't remember the other thing, but we're gonna do a bunch of hunts today and hopefully have some maxed out armor. I think I also need to fight the baboon monster. I think they need like one piece from him, so. All right, tempered Arkveld, the angriest of them all. He is already angry, we can tell. How is everyone doing today? It is Wednesday. I'm actually excited for this week for a couple different things. The biggest thing being all the game releases. We have Atomfall coming out tomorrow. We have Inzoi coming out tomorrow. We have Dark Deity that launched, or Dark Deity 2, I guess, that launched just a few days ago. And there's one other one that I can't ever remember the name of that I was excited for. That's like a Metroidvania that apparently is pretty good. So we've got a lot of great game releases this week. I'm kind of hyped for Atomfall. I've seen people going back and forth on it. Some people say that it's just Fallout in England. Other people said don't call it Fallout in England. It's more like Stalker. So I'm really excited to see what that game actually turns out to be. Regardless if it's either one. I like Fallout. I liked Stalker, but to be honest, I had my problems with Stalker 2 when it came out because it was just so glitchy and unfun. But maybe this will be different, so we will see. So I'm hyped for that, especially, but also Inzoi. Like, I loved The Sims growing up. The Sims was always one of my favorite games, but it's gotten really stale, and I really can't support their horrible practice of releasing a little bit of content, calling it an expansion, and asking you for. We looked it up. The Sims 4. If you were to buy The Sims 4 in its entirety not on sale, it would be over $1,000 to buy all the expansion. And that is way too much for a video game with how much content The Sims has. So the other problem I have with The Sims, and this is not necessarily a problem with The Sims itself, but maybe just a problem with me, but I'm going to bring it up, is how gamified certain parts of the game are. Like, you're supposed to be able to build your house how you want to build your house and decorate how you want to decorate, but then you have things like, okay, well, this wallpaper only gives you X amount of environmental stats, right? So, okay, that sort of makes sense. I guess a cheap wallpaper is less pleasing to look at than a expensive wallpaper. Okay, that makes sense from like a gameplay perspective. But at the same time, what if I like the looks of that cheap wallpaper? Now I can't use that because it's not as efficient as using other things. And I don't like that aspect of it. Hello, good morning. How's it going? So I've never enjoyed that aspect of the game, so I'm really hoping that that changes with Inzoi. But we will see. We will see what Inzoi brings us. I've seen a lot of people already upset at the game, mostly because it's going to be using some AI. I haven't seen any other complaints besides people saying that it just feels big, open, and empty, which I guess that makes sense because, like, same with The Sims, right? Like, it's a big open sandbox. You're meant to fill the sandbox however you want, but it is concerning when there are multiple people coming out and saying that the game just feels straight up empty. And then again, it is also in early access, right? So maybe there's just not a lot to do yet because it's early access. That would certainly make sense as well. So I'm excited to see what it brings. It's coming out tomorrow, so we will know for sure tomorrow. I am located in the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful, beautiful place to be. And I am doing well today. We are almost through the week. We had our, quote, heat wave come through already. It was 70 degrees yesterday, and people were calling that a heat wave. But I'm most excited for the cherry blossoms in our area are blooming, and every year they put up decorations and do like music and cultural festivals. So I'm really excited to do the cultural festival and see it at night with just like the hanging paper lanterns, and it gets really pretty. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. They hired a couple musicians to come out and play some traditional Japanese music also, so that's going to be like a good time. I'm really excited to go take some pictures and do some video work and just really enjoy that all together. How are you doing? Yes, I am from the USA. I don't know if that's pride or regrettability, honestly, with everything that's going on with our leaders discussing war plans in text messages, and they accidentally added someone to the group chat. Like, whew. Strange times. Definitely strange times. All right, we got that tail. The tail is a piece we needed, so that is definitely a big plus. Got the tail. My bird know where he's going? Just slightly walking towards. Come on, a little bit of hustle, a little bit of urgency here, Chocobo. Love America. There's a lot to love and a lot to hate. It's definitely been what's the right word? Tumultuous times, turmoil, and problems and issues. But no place is perfect, right? Like every country is going to have its problem. Every nation will have its problems, but maybe it's one of those, like, the grass is greener on the other side. But like right now, I would much rather be like in Japan or Ireland or Scotland or the Vatican Like I would love to live in any of those places, but maybe, like I said, maybe it's just the grass is greener. Maybe it's because I'm not from those places. I'm sure there's people who live in all those places who say they would rather live in America. So I just really need a vacation is what I need. I've been telling my wife that for like a month and a half now. I just need to take a couple days off. I'm hoping the weather improves enough that we can go down to my favorite place, which is the wildlife safari. They have all sorts of wonderful animals there. Hippos and giraffes and rhinos and elk, moose, zebras, bison, wolves, lions, tigers, cheetahs, all sorts of great animals. So I love to go there and take photos, but it's been flooding there recently. Like we've had so much rain that they actually had to like evacuate part of the area. So hopefully that gets sorted out here soon, because I really want to go and enjoy that place. All right, my light just blinked and it broke my controller. Not sure how those things are connected. It's one of those things where you can't stream. You just can't stream. Every time you stream, something is inevitably going to break and ruin the streaming experience. I do not know why I am so cursed to have this always happen to me, but there you go. Now I got the game running. I got the game running with no problems for once, and now my controller doesn't function because my light has an update. How are those two things related? How is it that my light can affect my controller? You're from Egypt? That's cool. I'd love to go to Egypt someday. Is Wilds good? I heard there's no palicoes cooking in the game. Sorry, I have to reset my game because my controller's broken here. Wilds is tough for me to... It's tough for me to accurately rate. I have been having non-stop crashes and problems with the game. So it is difficult for me to recommend the game because some people just cannot, like literally cannot play it for the last 3 weeks. I have been unable to play the game at all just because it is constant crashing every single monster hunt. So it's really hard for me to recommend the game. When you can play it, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool systems. The fights are really awesome. The graphics are great. But there's a chance that if you buy the game, you're one of the unlucky people affected by the many, many, many crashes, optimization bugs, and you just simply won't be able to play. And like, they're not offering refunds. They're not offering to help anyone. They've said nothing about it. They've said nothing about fixing the problems. Absolute silence, which is unacceptable by them. So it's really hard for me to recommend the game in the state that it is. There is no palico cooking in the game to start, but they did just announce their like first update to the game. And in that there should be a world hub, and with that world hub should come palico cooking. So I believe that we are getting palico cooking and like those cool cutscenes and options as soon as the next patch hits. But if that patch doesn't have fixes for their janky broken game, then it's still, I can't recommend it. Like, I can't in good conscience recommend someone spend between $60 and $100 on a game that they might not be able to play. And it's not just PC, like PlayStations are having problems. And their recommendation that I've seen on forums is, oh, your PlayStation can't run it. Your PlayStation's probably broken. Go buy a PlayStation Pro and then it might work. You want me to spend $600 more to have a chance for the game to work? Like, no, that's not how this works. So they better get on fixing it, because it is really, really hard to recommend the game with the current state of it. But it is fun. I did go back. I got Monster Hunter for PlayStation 2, like the original Monster Hunter to play, since I couldn't play this one for a while. And let me tell you, that game, that was a trip. That was... I'm very happy with where we're at now, because Monster Hunter, the original, was... that there were so many problems with that game. So we have definitely come much farther from having where we started. So I am happy for that. I'm happy for where we have come from? Oh, come on. Give us one of these quests. Let us join. People say that the hunts are too fast, which feels like Monster Fire, Monster Hunter, and the mouse feel forced to use. Are those true? I only played Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I would say that's half true. You definitely are forced to use the mounts, just because the worlds are so, like, the areas are so large that if you're not using your mount, there's no way you're gonna catch up to the monster. And one of the most frustrating things that happens in the game is that the monsters will just randomly, like, yeet off into the distance in the middle of a fight. And that, I understand what they're trying to do. I understand, like, it's sort of realistic, like they're going to reposition and all that sort of thing. I get it. But man, is it super frustrating. Like, okay, I'm in the middle of this fight. It's a really tense fight. Things are going hard. And then the monster decides to just get up and leave. And then it flies 700 miles to the right. Okay. Awesome. But now I'm going to have to run for a half an hour to go start the fight again. Like, it interrupts the flow of the fight. And I think that interruption goes hand in hand with the fights are too fast. Like, yes, having the monster leave the fight makes it go a little bit longer, but that's an artificial inflation of how long the fight is, right? That's not fun. That's like when they say, oh, we're going to make the game even harder, and they just make the enemies more bullet spongy and they take more damage. Like, that's not fun. It works, but it's not fun. You got your platinum, way to go. As for the hunts being too fast, if you're really good at the game, yeah, you can decimate monsters in a matter of a minute or two if you're really good at the game. But the thing is, like, these are still only the hard mode monsters. Like, we haven't actually gotten into the actual fights yet. I think a lot of people have either forgotten or don't realize or never played Monster Hunter, but, like, we're only on the high rank monsters. High rank monsters aren't supposed to be hard. There's a whole other rank that's supposed to be the difficult monsters, and that is the G rank, the master rank fights. So yes, the current monsters are too easy, but that's because we are literally playing on easy mode right now. These are just like the story monsters. So come a couple patches when we finally get the G rank, the master rank monsters, I definitely think people will change their tune. And ironically, everyone will then be complaining that these monsters take too long to fight. It's too hard to fight. Like, why is it so much harder? So you can't please all the people, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. Is they'll finally give us difficulty, and then people are going to cry about the difficulty. So we're never going to win on that, unfortunately. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. We're just going to start by blowing up right on him. Blow up the big attack lance. Ooh, this is my favorite part right there. Oh, the clashes. When you can clash with the monsters, that is my absolute favorite mechanic in the game. The new monster clashes are simply the coolest. Did he get stuck? Did the game glitch? Is he charging up? What is going on? Why is he just sitting there? I think we broke it. You suck at Monster Hunter, you got stuck on the Velkhana fight. The good news is, it's a game you can practice, right? Like, there's not really a penalty for losing. You might not get a quest reward, but you can try again. Like, there's as much trying as you want to do, so you just keep grinding away at it. Maybe switch up your weapon. Like, the gun lance and the sword and shield were definitely my way to getting better at the game, was because I wasn't using the right weapon. I always wanted to be a dual sword user, but the fact of the matter was it didn't vibe with me, whereas the sword and shield and gun lance really did. What's your HR? My hunter rank is absolutely abysmal because I have not been able to play for 3 weeks because I have been affected by the crashes constantly. So I'm only at like Monster Hunter rank 50. I finally found a combination of things that I think have fixed the crashing. I haven't crashed in a little while, so hopefully it's been fixed, but we'll see if this combination actually sticks through. My save file got corrupted. Yeah, that has happened to a few people I have seen that have lost like 50-hour, 100-hour save files, and they're just gone forever. So again, I really feel that Capcom has dropped the ball on this. I definitely feel like their silence and unwillingness to come out and either refund people or say, hey, yep, we dropped the ball, we're fixing this, is unacceptable. It's been a month. It's been a month and we're still having game-breaking bugs that are literally destroying people's save files, bugs that are causing it so people couldn't play. As I said, I couldn't play for 3 weeks. Like, get your stuff together, Capcom. That's fully unacceptable in the world of gaming. But hopefully they just did their showcase. They're doing a big patch. Hopefully in that patch they bring some fixes and optimization. You made your Siki a chocobo? Yes, I love chocobos. Chocobos are one of my absolute favorite creatures from like fantasy video games. So I always want more chocobos, please. Give me more chocobos. We're hunting this guy because we are going to turn him into a gun lance as soon as I get enough parts from him. Losing your save file sucks. It happened to me after you hit Monster Hunter rank 300. Yeah, that for me, that's like the end of the line for me, right? Like if I was playing Monster Hunter Worlds and I was at rank 300 and my save file was just deleted and they couldn't fix it, I don't think I'd go back. And like I played Worlds to death. Like Monster Hunter Worlds is the first game that like I platinumed, so to speak. And I even spent so much time doing all the optional quests that I unlocked the rainbow armor, the rainbow pigment that makes it so that your armor is constantly changing colors. Like, that's how much I played Monster Hunter World, is I did every single quest, every single side quest, every single capture, every single investigation. I did everything in Worlds because I wanted that rainbow pigment armor so bad. That's why you make a backup every hour. But you shouldn't have to, right? Like, losing your game file sounds like a problem from like the old day of physical memory cards, right? Like the days of PlayStation 1 and 2 when your game file would get corrupted. That shouldn't be something that we are still dealing with in the year 2025, right? Like that's ridiculous that we're still dealing with this problem. Oh. If Val Hazak makes it into Wild, I'm going to cry out of pure joy. I know that they, at the showcase, they just showed off one that everyone loved. It starts with an L. Apparently a lot of people were asking for it. Lagunia or something. So I know that they just announced a monster everyone was really excited for. Wilds is taking a step back from Elder Dragon, so I don't think Val will be added. I don't know. I don't see why they couldn't keep adding monsters. They're certainly going to be adding more, and we're probably going to get a expansion, right? There's always at least like one DLC expansion or something like that. So we should be getting something like that should bring a whole bunch of new monsters, new areas. Oh, run, run, run. The Bubble Dragon. I just hope to never see in Monster Hunter Worlds, the monster that always kicked my butt that was so difficult. I'm trying to remember its name. It was the Raging Monkey. The Rajang or something like that. That thing, I could never get that one down. I could never memorize its attack patterns. I just could not. That thing was the bane of my existence. Oh, well. Too many people failed out. That's why you use the gun lance. You can't be hurt if you're using the gun lance, but the Rajang, yeah. The super powered Super Saiyan Rajang. I hated that thing so much. That one was truly the bane of my existence. So I really hope they leave that one out. Like, please don't make me fight the Rajang again. I do not want to fight the Rajang. Why are all these games full? Bro hunts Kieran's just for fun. I loved the Kieran. Kieran wasn't a hard fight, but I do love like the Kieran armor. Like the unicorn horn armor was always really cool. I really liked that one, so I really enjoyed that one for the armor. Bubble's here. Good morning, Bubble. All right, let's try this again. Do you play with your viewers? You're about to hop on the game. I've never played Monster Hunter with the viewers. I don't think I'm going to. I don't know. Never done that before. Gamer Afton, you're gonna about to video call a girl. I mean, go do that over talking to me. I appreciate having you here, but that one sounds much more important than me. I'm going to be farming some HR later. Want to come along? I would love to, but so I stream early in the morning. I stream at 5 a.m. Pacific time. I get up usually around 4 a.m. Pacific time. So I usually stream for about an hour, and then I go do a 10-hour shift at work, and typically any free time in between that is spent making actual videos for you all, shorts and long-form content. So I usually only have time to play games during my streaming time in the morning, and that's about it, unfortunately. I'm usually pulling 10, 12, 13-hour work days to keep a roof over my head, but also stream. You know, that's... that is the life I have chosen, so that I can earn 6 cents live streaming. I definitely see why so many streamers always try and get people to donate money to them. Like, I understand it from a like perspective of you're putting in a ton of time, so you want to be paid for that time. But I also understand it like, for most people, this isn't a job. This is just a hobby. So why are you paying for that? 10, what's your job? I can't talk about my job too much, but many jobs in general have this really great thing. It sounds awful to work 10-hour shifts, but you do what's called 4-10s. So you work 4 10-hour shifts rather than 5 8-hour shifts. So your shifts are a little bit longer, yes, but then you get an extra day off. So instead of working 5 days a week, you're only working 4 days a week. And having that extra day off is so... It feels so good. It feels so refreshing to have that extra day off, because, as most people know, your days off aren't really your days off, right? When you finally get a day off, you're spending that day off grocery shopping, doing errands, doing all the things you need to do, so you don't truly get a day off. So having an extra day off means you have a little bit more time to do those things you don't like to do, so that you have time to do the things that you do want to do. You work overnight. I prefer the night shift. Night shift is one of those things that you have to be built different for it. But if you're a night shift person, like, the whole world opens up to opportunities. Like, getting off your shift at 6 o'clock in the morning and then be able to go grocery shopping before anyone else is up felt amazing. And like, you've got the whole day to go do things. It's super awesome, but also there are parts that are super frustrating. Like if you work a true like overnight shift, chances are you're going to be sleeping during the day because your schedule is opposite of everyone else's. No problem with that, except for like if you need to go to a government building and that government building is only open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's it. Like it's impossible to get into that building, which means you have to take time off to go to that building because there's simply no other way to get into that building. So like the limited hours and things like that, like you quickly learn that the world is not built for night shift people. I did not restock my bombs. I am sorry. So that's super frustrating, but everything else about night shift rocks. I wish I could go back to night shift. Like, if I could work my job, my perfect shift would be like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Like, I would love to be on the night shift. I miss it. And the place I used to work, so when I worked night shift, I was night shift at a call center. And the calls would slow way down. Like, you would get a call once every 10 or 20 minutes. So basically what we would do is the night crew all got together and we would play Magic the Gathering. And that was our night. We would play Magic the Gathering, we would play video games, and then occasionally when a call came in, yeah, we would answer the phone call, and that would take 1 or 2 minutes. But that's it. Like, okay, do a 2-minute call, perfect, it's done. Back to Magic the Gathering. I played so much Magic the Gathering. We should make the world more night shift accessible. I could get on board with that. What are you on? Not a whole lot. Because of my anxiety and other issues, I can't really do a whole lot of caffeine. I can't do energy drinks. I can't drink alcohol. So, you know, it's just one of those things where we talk about privileges and blessings and things like that. And I think one of those things that people don't realize is I don't know if privilege is the right word, a blessing. I don't know what the right word for this is, but I was born with an extremely, really, really, really high tolerance for, like, scheduling and doing things a very certain way. So, like, once I get into the habit, it's my habit for life, and I do not mind doing that over and over and over and over again. So, like, if like waking up at 3 a.m. and then streaming for 2 hours and then working for 10 hours, like that is just my schedule. So I can do that now for the rest of eternity because I like to be very scheduled on things. So once you get into the groove of it, it's really hard to do the opposite of it. I was also got a lot of self-control. I am blessed to have a very, very high amount of self-control. It's just like I quit smoking cold turkey, quit drinking cold turkey. Just, okay, I'm done smoking and I'm done. It's gone forever. So the only thing that has been a struggle with that, the only thing that tests my willpower is food. That has been my one real struggle all of my life. But I'm down. I started at around 440 pounds, and I actually weighed myself last week, and I'm at my lowest weight basically ever since before high school, 285. If I lose 20 more pounds, I will weigh less than Homer Simpson, who was a comically obese cartoon character in the 90s. 260 was considered laughably obese in the 90s, apparently, because that's, you know, Homer was supposed to be comically obese. So that is the next big milestone, is to hit 260 and weigh less than Homer Simpson. Right. Eventually I want to get down to like 220, but that's still
That's still kind of far away, unfortunately, but every day a little bit more, a little bit more. Can't play with the homies from America. I live in Asia, and they're completely different. Yeah, you got the different time zones. That's awful. And you've got all the different, like, servers. That's always awful. Like, I run into the time zone problem always hits me. Like, I love playing tabletop role-playing games, you know, Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or Star Trek Adventures or just anything TTRPG. Like, I love it. But because I can only play at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it's really hard to find people to play with in my area because no one's getting up at 4 a.m. to play Dungeons and Dragons. It just doesn't happen. So I usually end up getting people scattered across the world. In my current game, I have like one person from England. I've had a person from Jerusalem. I've had a couple people somewhere in Asia. Like, I usually get people scattered all around the world because that's the only time I can find people to play with. No one ever from the USA. Oh, did we finally crash? Okay, we made it. We made it half an hour without a crash. That's progress, I guess. We definitely did better than we have been doing, but I am so frustrated that I'm still dealing with this. They really should have fixed this by now. All right, let's bump it back up. In 1 second to reload the game. Waiting for the crash. I thought I had found the perfect thing to fix it. I disabled some settings. I put in some custom Steam codes. I capped the frame rate. I turned off frame generation. I uninstalled the high-res stuff. Like, I did a whole bunch of troubleshooting to fix this. The only thing that I have not tried, that I'm just unwilling to do, is they said that if you take your overclock off of your GPU and CPU, that might fix it. But no, why don't you fix your game? I'm not going to remove my overclock so that I can play your game. You should just fix your game. So that's the only thing that I'm unwilling to do, is to remove the overclock off of my devices, because I shouldn't have to. Because they should. I'm willing to cap the frame rate. I'm willing to change things here and there, you know, fiddle with a few settings, but I'm not going to change my whole machine just because you're too lazy to fix your game. Like, that's on them. So, and that's not going to fix for everyone, because like I said, PlayStation 5s and Xboxes are both experiencing huge amount of crashes as well. So it's not even the overclock. It's a ton of different issues all put together. The constant crashing really does make it sort of unplayable. It just kills the vibes, man. That's my main problem with it, right? They're just killing the vibe. The vibe is dead, and I would like them to fix it. Please fix the vibes. And then this is the other annoyance. Okay, I can't join these quests. I understand that they filled up, or they've turned off, or whatever reason. So stop showing them. Why is it showing me a bunch of quests that I can't join? Like, again, it's 2025. If this was still 2004, I would understand the jankiness. But they've had years to figure out and perfect this formula. What set are you using? I am using a hodgepodge of items because I have not really spent a lot of time building a build, because again, I haven't been able to play. So I am working towards my build now, which is the Arkveld gun lance, and then I'm going to use the ebony set that gives you burst once I can actually play the game enough to make a build. It should get better after some updates and bug fixes. World had the same problems at launch. Oh, I definitely agree. It should, but the game has been out since February. It's been over a month. They've had a month to fix it. And while I understand, no, don't give us new content, but they definitely should have, in the last month, at least attempted to give us a patch to fix something, right? I'm going to use the Helldivers group as an example. Helldivers is a small team of about 100 people. When they have game-breaking bugs, they worked overtime and fixed it in a day. There were a couple things that persisted for a week at most, and they finally fixed it. And yes, they're still working on things. Yes, there's still problems with Helldivers. They're still fixing those things. But they've been openly communicating with the community consistently about the problems. Capcom hasn't said a single word about all the problems they've had. They haven't even told us if they're going to fix it. Gorilla, welcome back. Good morning, good morning. That's my main problem, is the silence. Like, at least acknowledge there's a problem and fix it. Or tell us that, hey, these problems are too big for us to fix right now, so our next big patch will include fixes for everything. Communicate something. Because so far, all they've done is pass the blame on to other people and said, well, maybe your computer's not good enough. That's not an acceptable response. How's life in the USA? People outside say it's an outstanding country. Is that true? You know, there's ups and downs with everything. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Like, maybe it's just because I live here, but I would really love to live somewhere else right now. Like, I really want to experience Japan, the Vatican, Italy, Scotland, Ireland. I would love to live anywhere there. But like any country, like, it has its ups and downs. There's certainly some things I don't like. The big one, like, a couple heads of our state were just found texting war plans over text messages with each other. Like, I would prefer that our leaders don't text message each other about going to war. Like, that's definitely concerning. That is a problem I have. But every country's got an issue, so. But there's lots of great things. Like, the area I'm in is absolutely beautiful. We have a lot of great state parks to be able to walk around in and see the natural beauty of the land. We've got access to a bunch of stuff. Like, it's definitely not as bad as some people make it out to be online. I know there's some places on Reddit that try and convince you, like, we're a failing state and that we're on the verge of collapse and that we're going to be a war-torn country that will be unrecognizable in just a few days. Like, it's nothing like that. There's certainly some issues. Another issue that comes to mind is that, like, the adult literacy rate is under 50% now. Like, less than 50% of Americans can read above a 6th grade level. And when I'm writing things, they try and tell us to keep things at or below an 8th grade level so that people can comprehend it. That's obviously an issue. I would love to see that fixed. I would definitely love to see people be able to read at a higher level and enjoy reading. I'm currently going through reading The Handmaid's Tale. Many people have recommended that, so I have started reading that, and it is fantastic so far. If not a little, scary and alarming, but I think it's a great read. I'm also reading a book by a priest called Be a Man. And that is a wonderful insight into what he believes to be some of the problems with, like, toxic masculinity and men not having enough, like, direction in their lives right now. So I highly recommend that book so far right now too. I haven't finished that one yet, so I'm always hesitant to recommend a book I haven't quite finished yet, because there's always that worry that, like, the last 10 pages they go absolutely, like, psycho and put some absolutely crazy things in there. So, keep in mind that when I'm recommending it, I have not finished the book just yet. So if there's something that goes just absolutely bonkers off the walls at the very end, I don't hold me accountable for that. You really like the Guardian Secret Coil Odo earplugs? Our country definitely does have a lot of issues, but it's not the worst country out there. I think that's just the bias everyone's going to have, right? You look at all these other countries, like I know Reddit in particular is really bad about it, like how they put like Sweden and Norway and such on a pedestal about how like the Nordic countries are absolutely the best, the pinnacle of life, they are the best countries in the world. All right, Gorilla, thanks for dropping by. It was good to see you. We'll see you next time. I'll be streaming again on Friday, so hopefully we'll see you then. But, you know, I'm sure that Norway and Sweden and all those places have their issues as well, because every country has their issues. I think no matter where you go in the world, you're just going to face that problem of nothing is perfect because people are involved, right? And people are flawed, and therefore they make flawed decisions and do flawed things. It's the same thing I talk about all the time with, like, there is a great many people who talk about, like, they like Catholicism, but they don't like the Catholic Church. And I understand the church has hurt people. I understand that there are things that you disagree with. I understand that there are people you disagree with, but we have to understand that it is an institution made of people who run it, and because it's made of people, it is always going to have flaws in it because people are deeply flawed and do the wrong thing all too often. And that's frustrating, and I understand why you want those people to do better, why you hold priests and people who are religious to a higher standard, as you absolutely should, but they are going to let you down. That is just a fact of life. That is just going to happen. And it's frustrating, but for me, it's just something that we have to accept, that people are going to be flawed, people are going to make mistakes, but rather than leaving the institution, I want to stay and make it better. I want to do my part to try and hold those people accountable, to hold the church to a higher standard, to make them do what's right and be better, rather than just abandoning it. But I do understand why people would abandon it when they feel that frustration, like they see the same things happening over and over and over again, and like nothing changes. But, you know, I'm always a fan of the be the change you want to see in the world, right? Like that is something I try and live by. So when I see flaws in our church, I want to fix them. And there definitely are. Like one flaw I always bring up with my church, and honestly, I really need to sit down with the priest and talk to him about this, is every year they put out a new list of a wish list of things that they want to have to improve the church. And our church has a lot of classrooms because they do lots of classes. That's great. I love that there's lots of classes. I love that they do that for people. But every year, because our classrooms grow, they need more tools for helping in the classroom. Definitely understand that. You need desks, you need books. Okay, understood. But they also, every year, they say that they need new TV screens for those classrooms. Okay, I understand you need like projectors, you need to be able to show the classwork. I have no problem with that. What I take issue with is every year they say that they need brand new 70-inch TVs for those classrooms. And that's what I take issue with. Because TVs are cheap. TVs are dirt cheap. You can go buy a brand new 70-inch TV for probably, what, $400? But why do we need to buy a brand new TV when you can go to Goodwill and you can get a TV for like $10? TVs are dirt cheap. So why is it that you insist we need a brand new 70-inch TV when we could go buy a used one from Goodwill for much cheaper? And that's the problem I take with it, is I don't have a problem with you asking for TVs. I understand you want to have classrooms. I understand you want to do class lessons. Totally get it. But why does it have to be a brand new 70-inch TV? That's what I don't understand. And again, I understand why some people look at that and say, well, I think the church is trying to scam us on this. But I want to fix that. I don't want to just like, well, I'm leaving because I disagree with this. I want to fix that. And there have been times that I've been wrong. Like our church wanted to put in a brand new parking lot, and I was against it. And I told them, like, why are we going to pay those like $20,000 project for a brand new parking lot? I just don't see the need for it. There's plenty of other things that we can spend that money on in our community that would help a lot more people than having more comfortable parking. And I'll fully admit, I was wrong. We built the parking lot because they didn't listen to me. Thank goodness, because I was wrong. On days like Ash Wednesday, our parking lot was full, even with the new expansion. Like, there were so many people in the church, there wasn't enough room. They had to do overflow parking, and they had to put people in a completely separate building because so many people had showed up to the church. And I was like, okay, I get it. I was wrong. We did need that parking lot because obviously there's enough people in our community who are coming to church that we need the space for it. Now, I'd definitely like to see us also include things like bus programs and biking and all that to help reduce the amount of cars who are coming into the parking lot. But I understand that that's like a cultural shift that's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to convince people to go give up their cars and come biking to church. That's going to take some progress. But so, okay, yeah, we needed that parking lot. I was wrong. You're still talking to that girl? Congratulations. Glad to hear that. I appreciate the part of my language as well. We do try and keep it family friendly and keep swearing to a minimum, so I appreciate that. Thank you. That's the same thing. Like, this is one of those conversations a lot of people have. If the Vatican sold all of their art, how many millions of people could they buy houses for that they could feed, that they could help? How many millions of people could be helped if we got rid of some of the vast wealth of the Vatican? And I don't disagree with that, but it's also, to a degree, the Vatican draws in a lot of tourism and money because it has that art. So how much like long-term money would we lose out on by selling that? But also, like, art is important, right? Everyone agrees that art is really, really super important to humanity. So having that art available and not in a private gallery where no one can see it is a service. And I think way too many people, especially in America, when we have the conversation around like the post office, people want everything to make money. Not everything is supposed to make money. Services don't exist to make money. Services exist to be a service to the people. So when we're talking like the post office exists as a service to the people. It's not meant to make money. Not everything has to make money. Same thing with like the art in the Vatican. Having it available to the public is a service, and that needs to be factored in as well. It's not always about profit and money. Talking to a girl for 30 minutes made her laugh for half an hour. Congratulations. Always great to see. You know, I'm actually like legitimately glad to see that, because there's one of the biggest issues that we're facing, I think, as men in America especially, is this incel crisis. There are a lot of men who are joining like the men going their own way movement, and the incel movement of I don't need women, I don't like women, dating is too hard, dating is bad, and there's a myriad of issues with it. But I'm so glad to see people just genuinely like going out and having conversations, building relations. All those sort of things are super important, and it's a skill that's being lost. You can see it every day on Reddit, how many people are losing the ability to talk to people, have those genuine like conversations and build up with the opposite gender. So I'm very glad to see that it's working. My rant for the day. There is a company that I am mad at. You are probably familiar with them. They are called Mischief. They've done all sorts of really fun little, like they sold a bunch of car keys, and if you found the car, you could just drive the car, but then anyone else who had the car key could drive the car. That was fun. They do a bunch of really cool, like little collabs, a lot of really cool stuff. I was into it. I really enjoyed the stuff that they were making. Yesterday, they announced they are now selling hard seltzer made with holy water blessed by a Catholic priest. And that I take issue with. I definitely take issue with them taking something that is holy, that is set apart for a very specific purpose, and cheapening it to a gimmick to sell beer to people. I am deeply disappointed in Mischief for that, and I don't want to sound like a Karen, but I will never purchase anything from that company again. I cannot support them in good conscience. And it's so frustrating that I get it. I get the joke. I get that people are like, oh, it's holy water. It's fun to drink it, but it is a holy and sacred religious thing. And for people to treat it so poorly really frustrates me, because if it was any other religion, that if it was any other religion and they did that, there would be a public outcry, as there should be, and they would face backlash for it and be told, hey, you should not do that, because they shouldn't. But because it's Christianity, it's okay to do. And this isn't even like the first, like there's another company that does, they take the wafers that become the communion, that becomes the bread of Christ, that becomes our Lord and Savior, and they make those en masse and they turn them into barbecue chips for you to enjoy. And that really bugs me that, yes, it's just a cracker before it's been consecrated, before it's been turned into the bread of life, before the priest has done what the priest does. It is just a cracker, but it still feels incredibly disrespectful to an entire religion of billions of people to do that, Speaking of billions, interesting article I read yesterday. This group went out and did a survey of people who live in like rural areas, like different small town areas. And they are saying that they believe that the world population estimates are wrong, and that we are closer to a population of 11 or 12 billion people, as opposed to the 8 or so billion that they previously thought. They said that a lot of like those census didn't take into like these small rural communities and people who are spread out and dispersed and all that sort of thing. So if true, that is really interesting that our count was off by that much. 3 billion people is kind of a lot. That's more than a rounding error, right? That is a lot of people to accidentally miscount. So be really interesting to see if that's actually true. All right, we got to be careful. I haven't fought one of these guys in a while, so I don't remember his attack pattern, but I do know that he has a couple nasty attacks, so we're gonna play it safe. But yeah, Mischief is definitely upsetting me with their hard seltzer water. And like there's always going to be groups that do that. Like I know one of the other popular things, it's not a company who does this, but I know every now and then there's like kids who will go to church to receive the Eucharist, and then they'll hide it in their mouth so that they can take the host home and they can blaspheme against it, or they'll take it to like their little club and pretend to be Satanists and do like a midnight mass or a dark mass. And I know that that's just kids being stupid and dumb, and it doesn't happen nearly as much as people say it does, but like it's so weird how people try so hard to disrespect something religious in that way. But I'm pretty sure like 90% of the stories you hear about that are just made up stories. But I know like the Vatican had it for a while. They had a whole like rule in place that they had someone who would like literally check your mouth to make sure that when you received the host, you actually consumed it, because they had a problem with too many people trying to save the host as a souvenir, not to take it for like sacrificial black masses, but to like take it home to like, look, I have the bread of Christ as blessed by the Pope, and therefore this is super special, so I saved it as a souvenir to bring home, which again, incredibly disrespectful, incredibly wrong. So they had to hire people to literally check people's mouths to ensure they weren't doing this.
Spot.
I think that's passed, but I don't know if they're still doing that or not. Come on, big explosion. Nice. Got it off. Another one. The new Bubsy game looks wild. You talking about the game I'm playing, or are they making another Bubsy game? That's like Bubsy the cat. That was like one of those. That was back in the day, before the PlayStation had like an official mascot. I know that like there was like the mascot wars where every company and their dog was trying to become the mascot for PlayStation. You had like Gex was in there. You had Crash Bandicoot trying in there. I'm pretty sure Bubsy was the cat that was trying to be in there. Everyone was trying to win the mascot wars, and I think Crash won that one, and now Crash has been retired, and now we have the oh, what do you call it? The Astrobot. Astrobot has emerged victorious. Though, you know, obviously I'm a big fan of Helldivers. I wouldn't mind if Helldivers became our new mascot for PlayStation. Although I'd much prefer that Helldivers come to Xbox so that we can get more Helldivers. Always need more Helldivers, so... Ooh, we got a Beast Gem. Very nice. Love to see that. All right, we need a Guardian Scale. Oh, looks like we got the Guardian Scale we wanted as well. Bunch of decorations. All right, we should be able to increase our lance then. We're slowly building the best lance in the game, so we should be able to get to the next level now. We just need that Guardian Scale, so let's go check it out. Remember Knack? I sort of remember Knack. I know I played it, but I can't really remember much about the game. I know there was like switching elements. I know that was like a big part of the game, was always swapping between the elements, but that's about all I remember from it. Let's see. Here we're trying to buy the G Lawful Boars, and we needed a Guardian Scale. Oh, we need a Guardian Scale Plus. We only got a regular Guardian Scale, so we need to go get Guardian Scale Plus in order to unlock that. What drops a Guardian Scale Plus? Let's see. That's not helpful. Looks like you can get it from Ebony Ogdegarin Perfect Plundering. All right, so it looks like we need to go do Perfect Plundering to get that. So let's see if we can find that. I'm just here for the vibes. What I remember about it was that was PlayStation's attempt to make a new mascot before Astrobot. I'm pretty sure it failed because I don't think Knack did very well as far as I can remember. Knack did not do well at all. Okay, so we're looking for plundering something. Plundering with... let's see. We're looking for... No. Okay, let's try this way. Let's go to a... Will this give me what I need? Let's see. I need to take these guys down anyways, so... So who's hyped for Atomfall tomorrow? I have not been following it very much, just that people said that it's Fallout in London, basically. But I've heard a lot of people are getting hyped for it, so I'm kind of hyped to try it tomorrow. I might sign up for Game Pass just to be able to play it for a month. I don't think I'm going to buy it outright, but definitely excited for it. So many good games coming out this month, and then 2 months we get Doom the Dark Ages. Definitely got some hype for Doom the Dark Ages coming up. I wasn't originally hyped for it, but we're going to be getting a new World of Warcraft here soon. The next expansion is going to be announced, and I'm kind of hyped for the next expansion because we get player housing, and I am a huge fan of player housing, so very, very excited for that. Oh, I jumped too high. Gotta fight the giant flaming octopus thing, obviously. Boom, 300 damage. I love the gun lance so much. The damage is just so satisfying. To be able to block the clashes. Try not to hate, but I hate this fish tank. It's the one disaster after another. I was on board, I think it was like, oh, it won't be that hard. Yeah, fish tanks are always a disaster. They're hard to clean. They're a huge liability. Actually, there's a lot of, from what I've heard, now, I am not a lawyer, but I have heard that it causes huge liability issues with like your insurance and stuff, and like they won't insure you, or you have to get special insurance if you have a big enough fish tank, because like a 50-gallon tropical fish tank shattering and spilling that water will obviously cause a huge amount of damage, and they have concerns over that damage. So I will never be a fish tank person. I would love to own jellyfish. Jellyfish are one of my favorite creatures of all time, but I could not handle a fish tank. But they are cool. Jellyfish are cool. There is a new jellyfish aquarium somewhere in California, actually, that I'm really hyped to go see. I know I've been talking about vacation a lot. I do think the next vacation, Emmy and I have been talking about going and seeing the up in Seattle, Washington. There is a butterfly room where you can go in and like a bunch of butterflies will just swarm you and land on you, and that sounds awesome. So that is hopefully the next adventure. We're gonna go to the butterfly room. I think you can get some good photos of that, and that sounds really, really cool, but also like really terrifying because butterflies are so fragile. Like I would hate to accidentally crush a butterfly, so that sounds really stressful to just be in a room surrounded by them. Like every step, every place you put your hand, every little thing could hurt the butterflies, so you got to be very careful. So, yeah, I really want to go to the butterfly room and take photos of butterflies. Is the takeaway there? Excuse me. So I want to go to the wildlife safari. I want to go to the butterfly room. I want to go to the new butterfly exhibit in California. There's just so much that I want to go and see. Sadly, travel is expensive. We still want to go to Washington, D.C. someday. See all the art there. Someday we're going to have to go to a Waffle House and do a stream at a Waffle House. Like, I just feel it's absolutely necessary with my name that we someday do a live stream from a Waffle House. Now, there are no Waffle Houses in my area, so I've never gotten to go to a Waffle House, but I would certainly love to go there someday. I know that's kind of a weird bucket list item, but it's on there. Butterfly rooms aren't that stressful, although once tried to make a break for my dad's shirt. Once is the same shade of gray. Apparently, they have, when you leave the butterfly room, they actually have like a specific spot where you have to stand and they have someone come out and like check you for butterflies, because it's such a big issue with the butterflies trying to escape that they have to come search you for contraband. Sir, we have to check you for butterflies. I also want to go somewhere in Oregon. Travel magazine insists that we have like the sugar squirrels, the little flying squirrels that are super adorable that glide. They say that they are native to Oregon, so I would love to go out and find some in the wild and take some photos of them. I've never seen one, but they insist that they exist here, so yeah, I want to go take some photos of flying squirrels. I think that'd be a lot of fun, but I just don't know where they're at. Again, they say they're here, but I've never seen them, so boom, big explosion. This dude is just getting destroyed. He is having straight up a bad time. Gamer's back. Hello. How's it going? That's 1 and 2. Say it's a successful call. Congratulations. This poor Octagon is getting absolutely bodied here. This feels more like bullying than hunting. Let's grab all the body parts. All right, take me to the monster. Let's finish it off. Blake, hello. Let's say it's successful. We talked for half an hour till her sister came in the call. Spent 10 minutes threatening to leak the fact that she's calling me. I am glad. Glad you're having fun. Dex is here. Finally, now we can talk about music now that Dex is here. Just kidding. Hello, Dex. Good morning. Though I will say, okay, one music thing, but I promise it won't upset you. I promise. Chase Noseworthy made a YouTube video for a song called 3 Kobolds in a Trench Coat, and that is my jam right now. That is the song that I have on repeat. I am really digging 3 Kobolds in a Trench Coat. It is just the right amount of funny and catchy kind of earworm. So if you have not heard that song before, check out 3 Kobolds in a Trench Coat. Join me in a hunt? Sure. I have no idea how to do that, but this fight is just now over, actually, so perfect timing. 3 kobolds in a trench coat. Yeah, kobolds, Dungeons and Dragons, the little chaotic, gremlin-y dragons. Yeah, it's a funny D&D song. Kobold with a K. Gamer got it. Kobold. All right, we need Guardian Scale Plus. We did not get Guardian Scale Plus. They're like goblins. I always thought like it would be a fun... So kobolds in Dungeons and Dragons are like little dragons. They're little mischievous dragons, basically. And then you have Dragonborn that are giant, like 8 foot, 10 foot tall dragons. So I always thought it would be a really fun one shot to do. Like the players are 4 different like chaotic kobolds, and then one of the players is a Dragonborn. So you have like the big den mother Dragonborn, and then her 4 or 5 chaotic little gremlin kobolds. I always thought that'd be a really fun little like one shot. So Blake, how do you join me? Because I have no idea how you do any of that. I've never done any of that. Let's go check my armor. So I need the scales, but I also, let's see. I need to make a new set of... I need the Blongo chest. They said this one is really good, so let's grab the Blongo chest piece.
Alrighty. Perfection.
And then we need Ogdegarin. We need to build the Guardian Ebony with Burst. So we need more Guardian Ebony Sinew, Fangs, and Guardian Scales. We need a lot of Guardian Scales. Create a squad lobby. Let's see.
I'm happy to help anytime.
Isn't I think the lobby dude is over here, right? This is the one we talked to? Or is this just guilds? See, okay, so these are squads. No, it's not squads, right? It's something different. My personal favorite D&D song was Vicious Mockery. I haven't heard that one. So talk to her, okay. Manage a squad. Create new. Squad is a guild. All right, well, we'll try it. So oh, I hit the wrong button. All right, I put up a squad with my name, so you should be able to find that, and then I think we can play together, maybe? We'll see. All right, see if that works for you.
I hope you'll come again soon.
Grab a bounty. Need the squad code. All right, let's go see. Is that the code right there? The XR3HS5ER? think that's the code. Okay, that should work then. Okay, should automatically put you in, I think, because I didn't put in anything. Okay, yep, there you are.
Help anytime.
Some people only play the game for the blacksmith. That is definitely definitely an issue in gaming overall. People who only play games for the characters like that. That is a whole other separate problem. Deleted the game for Red Dead Redemption 2. I liked Red Dead Redemption 2 a whole lot, but I gotta tell you, like, I know it's super unpopular, but I don't think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a perfect game. I feel like the intro was way too long, and I feel like the story just dragged on forever and ever, like the whole Tahiti bit. I just feel like the game was like 10 hours too long. I feel like the story just started to drag its feet, so I really started to dread trying to beat Red Dead Redemption because it was such a drag. All right, I'm going to post a quest, and then you should be able to just join me, I think. Join your squad lobby through Alma. Okay. Do I go through a private lobby or... Oh, squad lobby. Okay. Here we go.
I'll be waiting here.
And I know that a lot of people get really upset hearing that Red Dead Redemption 2 has flaws, but it definitely has flaws between the story dragging. Some of the animations just got so repetitive and such a slog. Like, there's some cool stuff. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely some flaws in there as well. Let's see. I need to hunt this one. I need to hunt a Guardian Ogdegaran, so if you want to join me on that quest, we will hunt this dude down.
Should I get started?
Quest is posted.
Yes. I can help you source materials. The people from Azu's told me to tell you they said hello.
Best thing is the amount of NPC interactions. Oh, definitely. Like they have definitely the world felt alive. They did a great job with that. No doubt. Digging the armor. You definitely have a way more put together character than I do. I still have a lot of work to do to get my character to actually look good. I've got a lot more hunting to do, but now that the game's not crashing every 10 seconds, knock on wood, hopefully I can do the fashion hunting and all the fun things that come with the end game of the game. All right, let's hunt down the Ogdegaran. We need his delicious scales is what we need. Tons of Guardian plus scales.
Put them to use.
It's kind of like a Breath of the Wild. Like Breath of the Wild, I disliked, but it's not the worst game ever. But I definitely do think that people overrate the game. Like I feel like too many people way overhype the game. It is not the greatest game ever made. But then again, so is like for some reason people also give that title to Ocarina of Time. I don't know where like all the Ocarina of Time love has come from, but like I feel like Ocarina of Time is way too overhyped. Time for you to go to bed. All right, gamer. See you next time. We will be streaming again on Friday, so hopefully see you then. I don't know where this love for Ocarina of Time came from, because it felt like no one. I felt like no one talked about it back when I had an N64 and had the game. Like I felt like no one played it, no one talked about it, and now everyone talks about how it's the greatest game of all time. And honestly, same thing is happening with Final Fantasy VIII, which I am happy for, because I feel like Final Fantasy VIII is underrated. I loved Final Fantasy, but people act like it's the best Final Fantasy of all time, which I have stood by for a long time, but like, y'all are posers. I've been defending Final Fantasy VIII since the 90s, and just now it's cool to like the game. Like, I've liked it since before it was cool to like Final Fantasy VIII. I stood by it when people considered it the worst Final Fantasy ever made. But now it's cool to like. But I'm glad it's getting some love. I really hope that someday we get a Final Fantasy VIII remake in the style of the Final Fantasy VII remake, because I love Final Fantasy VIII. If for nothing else, Triple Triad. Triple Triad was like the best side game. Like, people talk about Gwent in The Witcher. Triple Triad is the best mini game in a video game of all time, hands down. Triple Triad is amazing. This poor monster, we are bullying this monster something fierce. I'll tell you what. Hunts like this are why people say this game is too easy. We've been on this hunt for what, like 5 minutes? The monster's already half dead. Like, we've just been absolutely wrecking this poor monster. Charging it up, and boom. I guess I should probably capture this since I need more scales from it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't bring any of my capturing stuff. So, unfortunately, we are going to turn you into a pair of pants. Thank you for your sacrifice, you beautiful creature. My food wore off. I'm debating whether I should eat one of my rations or not, but like, we're so close to winning this fight. I don't really think I need the extra stamina, but that also, like, famous last words, right? Like, this guy's could one-shot me with a good, powerful move. Oh, let's see. I do have the tranq bombs. Oh, okay, awesome. Good catch, good catch. You will make a fine pair of pants. Someone else just joined, but they joined just in time to get all the rewards, all the credit, and do none of the work. You're welcome, freeloader. Good job, Blake. You kicked some major butt. Like, that was some impressive sword and shield work. There we go. We got some guardian scales. We need some good scales. We still need like 10 more of those scales, but that's your Pokemon now. Funny enough, if you watch, like, if you catch the monster and like you sit there and watch, so it falls asleep and you catch the monster and your trainer will go out there and poke it and take all the stuff. Lev guy, was that you? Did you join and get the tail end of that? But if you watch the monster for long enough, it'll literally just like get up, shrug, look around, and walk away. Like, it's so funny to watch that you don't keep the monsters, because in the old Monster Hunter Wild, they were in town. Like, you'd have the monster, you could see them like researching and looking at it. Now they're just kind of like, oh, that was annoying, and then they just get up and walk away. Well, I would love to keep hunting with y'all, but it is about time for me to end my stream and go do my chores and prepare for my actual jobs. So hopefully we will be playing this again on Friday. I think we will. Kind of depends on how much I love Enzoy and Adamfall, because we have 2 new games coming out tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow, to be honest. I know it's not on my schedule, but I kind of really want to play those games, so we'll see. We might stream tomorrow to show off those games, but for now, we've got to end so that I can go to my real job. So as always, let's end with our prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for me. Thank you for your continued support through all of our blessings, through all of our answered prayers, and all the prayers we didn't know that we need answered. Today, we pray for the health of those people who are sick, people who are in the hospital, people that we don't know, people who don't have anyone to pray for them. Lord, help them. We continue to pray for all the people who are experiencing poverty, people who don't have enough food, who don't have enough water, who don't have enough housing, whatever it may be, Lord. Help them and help us, their brothers and sisters in Christ, to open our wallets and help them, to financially support them, to give them the love, the money, and other things they need to support themselves and to be bountiful and fruitful. And finally, we pray for the souls in purgatory, those souls who have no one left to pray for them. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We might do a stream tomorrow for Adamfall. I haven't decided yet. Otherwise, we will be streaming on Friday like always. It was a pleasure to chat with you all and have a good morning with you all. Have a blessed day, and we will see you all again very soon.